My name is Big Jess. I'm a producer, part of the group Unknown Prophets from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I was more or less born into a musical family. Both of my parents were musicians, not hip hop, but so I was kind of growing up around it. I was probably in like fifth grade when I first heard hip hop, and I thought it was really dumb before I heard it, because when I would think about it in my head, it would be like they're just right words. But then when I heard my first hip hop song, I was like, wow, this is really cool. So like fifth grade, that was it. Like I heard one song, and I did my first talent show in sixth grade. My dad had a reel-to-reel recording studio and recorded my first little thing on a cassette that we lip sync to, and that's just been it ever since. I've been wanting to perform and make my own music, and I've been studying producers and how they produce, and it's like a switch I can't turn off. So it's been 20 some years, 30 years. So I feel like I was kind of a late bloomer. Like the fifth grade thing was kind of, to me, it was just late, because I know a lot of kids were introduced to it when they were kids, like kids, and they just didn't know any different. But and that even is true in the scene when Mike and I, Unknown Prophets, got into the scene. We were in our early 20s and stumbled upon a show at 7th Street Entry with Idea. He was 15 at the time, and so that was kind of our first introduction to what was going on here. Probably like 2021, something like that, and that was probably the first influence that we've had here with the Rhymesayers and what they were building and stuff. So that was, but I didn't really see like my first hip hop concert. That was probably in high school. So there was a nice little gap as far as from fifth grade on. You know what I mean? So it was all videos on TV and stuff like that. So my dad had like a rock drum machine, like a Alesis or something like that, and I just wanted to play with it. So I made a couple of things out there, and it was all cassette tapes back then that I listened to it on. I think the first thing I purchased was a sound module and a master keyboard from Guitar Center, probably in '95. And that was my first stuff that I had at my house to mess with. It was just all MIDI. Didn't get my first sampler until 2000. So I don't think it was ever an issue. It wasn't ever like looked at it as like a negative thing. My dad ended up playing with us in like 2002. Him and some guys that he played with replicated some of our songs. So that to me showed me that he supported what I was doing. But it was always real supportive. Like my mom still comes to my shows and stuff too. So it's always been good. I definitely can say that my definition of success is different. Used to be, selling records, touring and all that. But I'm 36 now, and I've been putting out independent stuff for about 15 years. And I've got a guy who's here right now from Texas. He's the biggest fan I've ever come across. He came up for Soundset last year. He's here again. And to me, just reaching one person every now and then, like, means more at this point in my life than anything else could, because doing it independent with no label and no money and no you're doing it all yourself, and to be able to reach a few people every now and then, to me, tells me I'm succeeding in some way. So that's what I base it off of now. It's cool, it's different, but it's very cool. The thing that I'm most proud of at this point is just still being relevant at 36 and not having any tours under my belt or any super big. I never really landed a beat on a national artist's resume, but there's always time for that. But just being able to still come and do a show here and have people come, or put some out on the internet and people still like it, I think that's the coolest thing, because especially in this era where people want everything now and they're on to the next thing, to be able to kind of stay relevant somehow has been a blessing. So I want to be known as somebody who wanted to create music with other people that had a passion about it, and it wasn't about like money. I just want to do music with people that are happy about their craft. This compilation thing that we're here for is kind of proof of that. I reached out to a bunch of people. We've got like 70 songs that we did together. that it's like it's not about me, it's about us. You know what I'm saying? And that to me is like the ultimate. So I don't want to be known as like Jess was. He was all by himself, or he was his own person. Like I want to be that guy who was like, oh, everybody knows Jess. Like he was cool. Like I worked with him, or I never got a chance to, but like that's where I'm at, man.